bopa modimo power high moya oh halalela ang thoma lefatsheng lena ka morero le sepheo
Hello everyone! Hello everyone! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, if you are new here, welcome. I hope you get to click that subscribe button. I hope you get to share and like our content. In this channel, I am the mom. This is Mom and Baby's channel, and we talk about everything that has to do with my journey in raising my two beautiful babies. To you, my returning subscribers, welcome back, family. Welcome back, returning subbies. It's so good to see you guys again. In today's video, I'm sharing with you the guidelines I use to set boundaries for my kids. The reason I set boundaries for them is so that when they get to their adult life, they are already fully aware that there are boundaries in everything that they will come across. They can fully differentiate the wrong from the right, and they fully know that there are consequences of not abiding by the rules, right, of whatever place they are. It could be their workplace, it could be the country they live in. Wherever they are, there are certain rules, right, that one needs to follow. For now, the purpose of the rules is so that we establish a solid and a consistent guideline of what I expect from them and how I expect it to be done, right? I am also developing their self-discipline. From a very early age, they can know that they can't do certain things. They don't always require me to be around to say no to that. At some point, they will remember that this is not supposed to be done this way. From time to time, I will even hear like reprimanding Uzande to say, don't do that, right? Don't do it like that. Let me do it like this. Okay, I do it like this. That's like showing Uzande what to do. So that shows that he already knows what needs to be done and how it must be done. Let's get down to it. How do I set the boundaries, right? And the guideline that I use, number one, give them a plenty of choices, right? I give them options. I would say, do you want to wear red underwear or do you want to wear the blue underwear? Do you want chips or do you want fruit? Do you want juice or do you want water? Or they will ask me, Mama, I want pizza. I said, don't you want strawberry rather? Just so that they can be sure exactly what it is that they want without me having to influence their decision. I try to kind of confuse them and see if do they really know what they want? Like, are they really sure that the strawberry that they want is really the strawberry that they want, or they just want something to eat, right? So giving them choices is another way of setting boundaries so that they know exactly what it is that they want and they are firm in making that decision of what it is that they want. I also make sure that my expectations are clear and that I communicate my expectations clearly. By doing so, I mostly focus on what they need to do rather than what not to do. It's more like a distraction mechanism of telling them do this instead of saying don't do this. Because what I've realized is the more I say don't do this, the more they want to do what I've said don't do, right? So rather I say to them, this is what needs to be done and this is what I'm expecting to be done and this is how I expect it to be done. That way I am receiving more positive feedback in doing what I expect and most likely in the way that I'm expecting it to be done. I also build success in my expectations. By doing so, I make sure that the location of the things that they need is easy accessible. For example, if I expect them to pack their shoes, their shoe shelf needs to be in a position where they can easily put in the shoes, right? If I'm expecting them to pack up their clothes. Let's say after taking those clothes, getting ready for a bath, I'm expecting them to put their clothes in the washing basket. Then the washing baskets need to be in a place that they can easily access, right? So it's making it easy for them to actually meet my expectation successfully without me being frustrated. I also model the behavior that I would like to see up until they excel in it, right? For example, in the morning, normally I would wake up and brush my teeth. So I've taught them to do that as well. Wake up in the morning, first thing you do, you brush your teeth, or first thing you do before you eat is brushing your teeth. The next thing that I normally do is we make sure that before we sleep, we tidy up. So I'm modeling to them that they need to make sure that they leave the space clean after playing. So I will start getting the box or whatever it is that we use to collect the toys and start putting the toys in. That way, Zande will come in and give me maybe 1 or 2 toys to assist. Lucky will also do the same up until the whole room is up and tidy. Also, another thing is when I am emphasizing bedtime, what I've noticed is if I'm not sleeping next to them, they don't sleep. Or if I have my phone with me in bed while I'm trying to get them to sleep, they don't sleep. So what I also do now, I make sure that all my devices are off or on silent, and the room is actually dark so that they can get to understand that it is indeed sleeping time. So no cell phones, no gadgets whatsoever in the room. We are just preparing to get ready to sleep, right? So that has worked, though at times I get some challenges, especially from Ulike saying Alfunulala, or he doesn't want to give his phone away. Because what I've also done now, I have an alarm that rings at 8:30, right? So whether he was busy with his phone, whether he was playing, whatever it is that he's doing at 8:30, he needs to stop and get ready for bed. That's the latest time that he can get to bed. But sometimes he's already in bed that time, but he's playing with his phone. So when that happens, we get to argue because he doesn't want to give me his phone. Then he will start throwing tantrums. Obviously, sometimes we negotiate depending on the day of the week. If it's a Friday, I will let the alarm go. If it's midweek or it's early in the week, I can't do that. Like I can't let the alarm go because he needs to sleep and he needs to get ready for school early the following day, right, in the morning. So this gets to a point where there are certain days or there are certain situations that those rules and boundaries can be bent. However, they need to be bent with a communication between the 2 of us or the 3 of us that this is what's going to take place and this is why it's taking place. I also set a clear limit on consumption of things, right? For example, I've noticed that Tulak has a tendency of wanting to have more than 2 packets of chips per day. He would want to finish the whole tub of blueberries or the whole tub of strawberries in one day. So what I've started doing is I said to him, at some point, you need to understand that you need to keep things for tomorrow, right? Or the day after. So I've set a clear and a very firm limit on what he can consume per day, right? Meaning if he has consumed 2 packets of chips already, he can't have the third one, right? And meaning also he can't have sweet stuff before dinner time because that's going to close up his appetite for dinner. And he can't have sweet stuff before breakfast because that means he's not going to eat. He's not going to eat his breakfast. So it goes for Uzande as well. And also, if there is a tub of blueberries, a tub of olives, I have decided to set a firm rule on that as well. You can only have maybe 3 or 4 olives, and that's it. Ne? Then you have another one tomorrow, right? And then rather than finishing the whole packet in one day, it's not easy, but it takes consistency, and it also requires me as the parent to be firm and consistent in doing so. Because if I say to him, you can't finish the whole packet of of blueberries, for example, in one day. Yet on the other end, he watches me finishing the whole packet of blueberries that I bought for myself. So what am I teaching him? I'm not modeling what I'm telling him to do. Therefore, that might cause a slight confusion for him. So whatever I say he must not do, I also don't do in his watch, right? And lastly, I get tested a lot, right? I get tested a lot. These kids will test my patience like no other person ever in my life. So yeah, sometimes they will fight back and not do as boundaries set. Sometimes they will do as expected. Sometimes they will just decide to pull away from the boundaries that are set and do something else. So, and in most cases, I have gotten to realize that it's not because they are really pulling away because they don't want to follow their boundaries. Sometimes it's because of the two environments that they are exposed to, because my rules at home are totally or slightly different to the rules that they are being taught at school. I'll make a practical example. At school, they are told that they need to take off their shoes, right? At home, I tell them that they need to wear their shoes. So at some point, I needed to reach a certain compromise because I could see that they are now getting confused as to, do I wear my shoes? Do I not wear my shoes? When do I actually get to wear my shoes? And why am I being told something different when I'm here? And then when I'm at school, I'm told something else. So I've written a compromise where it says, if you want to wear your shoes, wear your shoes. If you don't want, you don't want, right? But make sure that you wear your shoes after bath. Make sure that you wear your shoes when it's really cold. So I've reached a certain element of compromise because I'm running away from them being confused of they are told this at school and I am telling them something different. And also, it's quite important to acknowledge the environments that your child is exposed to, because those also plays a huge role, and the people that are involved. So with all of this being said, in conclusion, I would like to say I believe that it is very important to set boundaries for my kids, right? Because without boundaries, from time to time they get lost and exactly what to do. So having those boundaries kind of pave the way for them of knowing what is expected and meeting the expectation as well, right? Though I set firm and strong boundaries, but they know that it's from a place of love and caring for them, I try by all means to communicate that to them as much as I am very firm, but they need to understand that it's coming from a loving place of someone that wants to build them, or from a parent that wants to build them, from a parent that has a good intention at heart. It's just that if I am not firm enough, they will not understand how critical it is for them to understand the foundation and the basics of knowing that there are certain rules that one needs to obey and there are consequences of not obeying those rules, right? So that if they have a strong, solid foundation of knowing the difference between wrong and right, and knowing that there are consequences of not following those rules or those boundaries, they will stand a better chance of negotiating the challenging life that we all live in their adult life. So that's it from me to you. It's Tooodles.